Luka Doncic is one of the most famous and obviously one of the best up-and-coming young players in the National Basketball Association today. He has only been in the league for just 3 years now and has been in 3 generations of NBA 2K, 2K19, 2K20, and 2K21. Although he's only been in the game mode for 3 years, thanks to his quick burst onto the scene in the NBA, he has been very impactful in-game. Today, we are going to go back and look at the history of Luka Doncic and NBA 2K MyTeam. "2K19 started off by giving Luka, the 3rd overall pick in the draft, a gold card right off rip at 78 overall. Obviously, none of these gold cards really have too much of an impact in the game. He did have a little dynamic duo with Dennis Smith Jr. to turn him up a notch, but overall, the card wasn't anything too incredible. But very soon after, we did get a Sapphire version of Luka. This card came out in an early game in October, so at the time, he wasn't too shabby at all. But Luke was just on a tear throughout this rookie season, quickly stepping on the scene and leading that Mavs team right off rip. And he did get a few more moments cards, including this Amethyst one, and then he did get another Diamond Moments card. This card is pretty good for the time. We actually are going to go over and listen to DBG's opinion on this card to get a little bit of a better idea of how he was in game at the time when he came out in January.
A really good card, like a lot better than I expected. At the point guard position, he's better than almost any actual point guard. For some reason, he just feels like he's locked down on defense, and to be completely honest, I did not expect this Doncic to be nearly this good this year. This card is so good. Doncic is just incredible. While I wouldn't put him in the elite tier of players, he definitely is one of the stronger players in the game, and he's a guy who is 100% usable in God squads. If you're like me and Doncic is your favorite.
And finally, for the last card Luka got in 2K19, they came through and gave him a Galaxy Opal 99 overall in the Generation Next set. This was back in the days before position lock, so these cards could play in any position, so most people ran this card at point guard if they ran him. He came with absolutely zooted stats, pretty much everything that was important in the high 90s, and every other stat well into the 80s at the very least, besides low post defensive IQ. He came with 18 Hall of Fame badges, some pretty nice ones including limitless range and a lot of scoring ones. He even had a few other badges on Hall of Fame that were important as well at the time, like Dimer and Catch and Shoot. So this card was pretty good, even for a Galaxy Opal. I personally ran this card because I was just a really big fan of what Luka was doing in his first year in the league. There was a few better options at the time, but this card was still pretty solid and reasonably valid nevertheless. After Luka's incredible rookie year, he started off 2K20 in his sophomore season as a Sapphire card. As I always mention, these cards are really not that useful. I mean, at the very first launch date of this game, I guess you could use this card, but he didn't last too long. But there was also a Ruby that came out very quickly after for a promo. This one was pretty rare. I never really saw this card either. So both those cards were pretty relevant in my opinion up until he started getting a few diamond cards. He got this Prime VIP diamond card, and this was the first year of position lock, so this one could not play point guard, and either could this Series 2 card that ended up coming a little bit later in the year. So to be honest, those first 4 that I just showed kind of weren't all that relevant in the game cycle. But there was a little bit of a big deal when this first lock-in for the Moments of the Week dropped for Luka. This was a diamond over here at 95 overall, and we're going to go ahead and scroll down to the stats because I want to show what happened as they released another Moments card for Luka. So we're going to go ahead and move from this one over to this one, and as we can tell, these are 2 different cards. I'm switching back and forth, but you guys can't even notice because the stats are the exact same. The only thing that was different on these 2 cards is the fact that one could play point guard and the other one could not. So there was a lot of people kind of just up in arms about the fact that they released the exact same card and all they did was just change the position. But I guess welcome to position locks in 2K20. You know, they have to release a certain amount of cards every year to reach collector level rewards and stuff like that. So nobody's really surprised they started doing this. And those were the best two Lukas that we had in the game up until the point where we got the first Galaxy Opal Luka Doncic. This card was in the Prime series, which eventually ended up walking in for Galaxy Opal Karl Malone, and this was Luka Doncic's second 99 overall card in NBA 2K MyTeam history. This card at the time wasn't too bad, but the biggest issue with him was just his dribble sigs. Last year, you know, it was a big deal to have a crossover that you could tween with, especially for a point guard. He didn't have the greatest layup package in the world. His jump shot was decent enough though, and we're going to go ahead and see what Bio 2K was doing with his jumper back in April of 2020 on 2K20 with this card.
And besides, like, obviously Luka is already our point guard, so Trey is definitely not about to play the two. And do you see that, though? My man Luka is green in everything. Like, I'm telling you guys, he has one of the best pure releases in this game. Look at my man Trey getting a decent contest. I mean, he was kind of right there, and they kind of did him dirty, but it's all good. 3 straight greens for my man Luka. He's just not missing, dude. I'm telling you. He's insane. He really just cannot miss. Luka, give me it. Bro, I'm telling you, he literally is greening every single shot. Like, I don't know what it is. He is just...
So yeah, this wasn't too bad of a card. Definitely wasn't a player that was used too much in the meta, but he was usable for some people. I ran with him for a few games and he wasn't too bad at all. And we ended up getting another Luka in the NBA is backpacks that came out in the very, very end of the game cycle. This card was just absolutely juiced with the stats, everything that you could possibly want when it came to badges and stats this card had, but it was very late in the game, and they did not change up any of his sigs as far as dribbling goes. They did add long athlete, but helped him out a little bit, but overall, you know, this card was decent enough, don't get me wrong. I mean, how could you really complain about a card with all of these stats and badges? But compared to other point guards in the game at the time, like Ben Simmons and GOAT Magic Johnson, he just wasn't that guy. However, you could definitely get busy with him. Before we go over the cards that Luka got in 2K21, I want to make this very obvious that they changed his jump shot and a few of his sigs from current gen to next gen. It's just been weird this year with Luka. So at the start of the year, Luka started off with this set shot that you can see in this video clip that was just absolutely terrible for a guard. So all of the first original Luka cards that came out started off with this set shot base that just was not good whatsoever, where he hardly came off the floor. But later on in the year, they did update it to this base 29 Zion Williamson jump shot, and every Luka card that was previously released after this update got this jump shot as well. And when it comes to next gen, he has his own jump shot in the game. So I just wanted to make that clear because a lot of people did not think that Luka was good at the start of the year due to the fact that his jump shot was kind of wacky, but they did update it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the cards that he has had in 2K21 now. In 2K21, Luka did start off with this Ruby card, which was an upgrade over his base card last year, which was a Sapphire, 3rd year in the league, and Luka is looking like an MVP type level player, so very worthy of the Ruby upgrade. He did have a Heat Check and a current Series 2 card come out a little bit later on in the game cycle, but nothing too wild. None of these cards could play point guard either, by the way, until he did get his Moments card, which was a diamond. This one came out on January 13th, and this card was the first one that could play point guard, so he did have a little bit more attention on him. They gave him a decent amount of badges, a decent amount of stats, and honestly, for the right playstyle, this card could definitely work. He did get a pink diamond a little bit before that. This one did not play point guard, and he was very similar to the diamond one, but actually, even though he's a higher tier as a pink diamond, he was a little bit worse, a little bit slower, and this one actually came out before they changed his jump shot, but it is now updated to base 29, as we can see right there. And then that brings us to what came out today. Today we got 2 versions of Luka Doncic as a Galaxy Opal card. Nobody really knows what the difference is going to be between these 2 cards, what kind of sets they're going to walk in for, but they do have identical stats and badges. The only difference is one has 1 extra Hall of Fame badge, which I believe is Clutch Shooter, So not really sure what the purpose is of that, but 2 new Galaxy Opal Luka Doncics in the game today. And if you go ahead and look at the SIGs on this, compared to the SIGs on his original pink diamond, there's definitely some changes. So on the new one, they upgraded his base to Dante Exum base, which is the best catch and shoot jumper in the game. On next gen, we don't know if he'll have this base or not, or if he'll have the weird Luka Doncic base that's not listed on 2KDB like his other cards on next gen. But as far as current gen goes, he is going to have the best catch and shoot jump shot in the game. And if you compare it back to this, they also added size up escape package on him, which is Pro 2. Pro 2 is the infamous Curry escape. They also gave him long athlete and shifty dribble style, which he actually had on his prior card. So overall, these are going to be very, very good cards. Like, this will be a meta point guard on current gen and next gen due to the fact that he is 6'7". This card's pretty fast for a Luka card, and there's just not many point guards like this in the game whatsoever right now. Both of these Galaxy Opal cards do come with Hall of Fame range extender, quite a few defensive badges, and overall is just going to be an absolute monster at the point guard position. But anyways, guys, it's Unbeatable Jacob. I hope you guys enjoyed this little summary of Luka Doncic in the history of series on my channel. If you guys are new around here, please hit that subscribe button, like button, follow my Twitch, follow my Twitter, anything you can do to help support me. It's all free, so it's all appreciated. And I hope you guys have a good time grinding Season 5 in MyTeam. Thanks a bunch, and I am out.